Welcome to Construction Genius, and today I am going to be interviewing a friend of mine. Actually, he's my oldest son. His name's Issac Anderton, and he is a student in college, and he also is working in the construction industry. So you're going to learn from someone who is new to the construction industry, but aspires to build a career in construction about what that journey is like. And I think you'll get some insights in the conversation about who to look for when you're hiring people into your organization, particularly if they're young. Their background, something about, some of their experiences and what they've learned in the various positions they've been in. So I know I've enjoyed this conversation very much, but I got my dad goggles on, so you got to be merciful to me. And I think you'll enjoy the conversation a lot as well. You can check out Issac on LinkedIn. I'll put the links in the show notes to his LinkedIn profile. And let's dive right into the interview. This is Eric Anderton, and you're listening to Construction Genius, a leadership masterclass. Thomas Edison said that genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. If you're a construction leader, you know all about the perspiration, and this show is all about the 1% inspiration that you can add to your hard work to help you to improve your leadership. Issac, welcome to Construction Genius.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure.
Sweet. I'm glad.
Hey, give the audience a little bit of an introduction to you, if you don't mind, please.
Yeah, my name is Issac Anderton. I'm 19 years old, currently a student at a community college here in Sacramento called American River College. Currently finishing my last year there and going to transfer over to Sac State, which is one of the California state colleges in Sacramento, in the fall of 2025. But I'm an aspiring, you could say, leader in construction, someone who is influence in that area, someone who desires to lead people and to build projects. I think I'm really interested in the building of a project and everything that it takes. So that's pretty foundational, I think.
Okay. Why are you interested in building projects? What about that attracts you or intrigues you?
I really when I drive by construction projects or notice any sort of projects, whether it's construction or not, or something internal, there's always a goal people have in mind, and the process from which you get a problem to then the end solution or the final, when you cut the ribbon and you get to take part of this thing that you just built, I think is really cool. Seeing the thing go from ground zero all the way to the end as to where you can partake in this months or years long project, this effort, I think is really interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting. I've often reflected on that. And I know I mentioned this in my book, that I believe that desire to build, or that fascination with building, actually comes from God, because the scriptures say that the builder of all things is God.
Yeah.
And so since we're created in his image, we have that desire to build, whether it's physical structures or some other concept or something like that. So I think it's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Where are you working currently?
So I currently work at a fence company here in Sacramento called Crusader Fence. We do work all over California and even into Nevada now, but I'm a estimator. Started off as a project management assistant, basically the bus boy for all the project managers. So I would just run around and do whatever needed to be done, doing all the brunt work, the deliveries, the getting material to projects when it needed to be done, checking sites out before we went over there. But now I'm sort of lean into the estimator role, where I manage our quotes that come in, put them on a list, keep that organized, and estimate my own jobs, work with customers, work with our design team, our automation team, and then directly with the project managers as I hand over estimates for them to run.
How effective is your handoff process between estimating and project management? Because I know that's one place where a lot of construction companies have challenges.
Yeah, there's definitely been improvement with me, and I can see definitely improvement still needing to happen. But I think the key thing in my mind and the key thing in my experience has been communication. It's been, as I go through the estimating process from beginning to end, making sure that I keep a running list of the notes that I have, the ideas I have, why I'm doing things, the reason I price out something a certain way. Because then when it gets to the project manager, they have this sort of layout from someone who's been looking at the project for however long, and they can really be confident that they know what's going to happen. They're not going to run into any hiccups. The project's going to be smooth. We're going to, in the end, provide the customer with true value, and it'll be a smooth process.
Is that a formal process that you guys have, or is it something informal?
I think it's being more formalized as we all come to the realization that we do need something like that. Whereas in the past, it hasn't been as much, but I think that it is definitely important to have that formal process. It's definitely important to have these checks and balances where you can keep people accountable. You can keep people so that you can trust them. So you can know that, yes, they have gone through, they've done their due diligence, right? They've done everything they've needed to do to make sure that this transition over to their project manager is a smooth one.
Now, you've worked at Crusader Fence for how long?
About a year and some change now.
Okay, so it's a commercial fencing company.
Yeah.
Where did you work in any other construction jobs before that?
I did. So for maybe my first 2 years of high school, I painted houses here in Sacramento. Worked with a company called Finchco.
Shout out Finchco.
Yeah, Jet's pretty cool.
Yeah, if you need a quote on a residential paint job in the 95826, 95825 area, is that basically where Finchco, baby. Check it out. Go ahead. Excuse me.
But yeah, that was cool. I remember just being in high school, riding my bikes to projects around
Yeah, right on.
the neighborhood,
Yeah.
asking my mom for a ride, being there pretty early, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning. I remember one time could be dropped off really early, so I had to like walk around the neighborhood for a while, and that was kind of weird.
That was kind of a sketchy neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
Down in South Sac, a little sketchy. Right on. Okay.
So yeah, that was fun. I mean, I learned painting is really satisfying for me.
Why?
It's just a satisfying thing to put paint on walls. I think you get to see something be bland and turn into a cool color.
Quick reminder that the easiest way for construction professionals to stop micromanaging and lead with confidence is to take my course, The Shift. The Shift is all about helping you to change from being a micromanaging leader to someone who develops teams that are empowered to execute projects at the highest possible level. You go to theshift.constructiongenius.com, you read all about the course, you read the testimonials, you learn more about the 5 modules and the 2.5 hours of training that is included and all of the bonuses, and then take the course because it will change the way that you lead. And if you can change the way that you lead, it will have a tremendous positive impact on you and on your organization, on your clients, and on your entire life. So go to theshift.constructiongenius.com and get started taking that course today. All right, let's go back to the interview. Did you learn the whole process from the prep to the...
Yeah, from the prep, I did a lot of prep, did a lot of taping windows, taping floors, taping concrete.
Did you do the scraping and all that kind of stuff?
Scraping, priming, getting up on the ladder in the eaves.
Were you scared of getting up on ladders?
Not really.
Really?
We didn't do many 2-story buildings, or I didn't
Right.
many 2-story buildings, but yeah, I'd go like the day before. So we'd start a project on Monday, and on Fridays I would go and pressure wash the house. So that was a nice day because it's usually kind of short, and in the summers it was nice because you get all nice and wet and
Yep.
Yeah.
It's hot here in Sacramento.
Yeah.
Right on.
So yeah, that
You did that for 2 summers.
one summer.
One summer, that's right. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
So that having to ride your bike and show up on time and find a way to be there, no matter how far the project was, or no matter how tired you are, no matter how strenuous the bike ride was,
Right.
I think was really key in developing the mindset I have now and developing that show up mindset kind of no matter what.
So do you think that's something that you had? Because you use the word developed. Is that something that's innate in you or something that's been developed over time? Or what do you think?
Well, I think a mindset like that for most people is not innate because we are mostly lazy people.
Yeah.
Mostly just want to stay home all day.
Yeah, right.
So I think it has to be developed in some sort of way. To some people, it comes easier than others. But yeah, I mean, I was homeschooled my whole life. So I think that had a part to play in it as well. Having to get up in the morning and be responsible for your own schooling, not having anyone to necessarily keep you in check like you would have at regular public school with all your teachers and
Right.
principal or whatever. But I mean, I'd had my mom to keep me in check, but that's about it. And even she was busy with my younger siblings, teaching them. And so that sort of helped me too, as I got to that point, where it's like, I have something I need to get done, so we're going to get it done.
Yeah. What about because I know you played sports and stuff in before high school and in high school, any impact of that?
Sports played a big impact on me, I think, especially in baseball, learning how to fail. They call it the game of failure for reasons because you fail all the time. And especially, I could say in my career, I failed a lot, and we've had a lot of moments about that.
Yeah.
Not living up to my own expectations. But yeah, I mean,
Shout out to Bradshaw Christian as well. A lot of success there. And I know that was fun for you being there, even though it was a challenging time.
yeah.
Right? Yep.
Yeah, I got to be a part of a state championship team. Maybe not a big part. Well, I had a good time.
That's right.
Cool memories.
Right on. Right on.
So yeah, learning to fail, learning to be a teammate, learning to be a leader, lead by example, by attitude, by the work you put in practice.
Right.
No matter what the result is, right? It's good, honest work. It's like you show up and you work hard and you do your best and you strive to make your team better. Right.
Right on.
It's not all about you. It's a team sport as well.
Right on. Right on. So then after working the painting job, what was your next job?
After that, I worked at Trader Joe's for about 2 years, like my junior and senior year in high school.
What was the logic behind that? Because, obviously, you're into construction now. Was there a particular logic behind Trader Joe's?
I think just a cool fill-in. I just needed a job, needed to work full-time.
Yep.
Something that I could do, or not full-time, but something I could do on the weekends.
Right.
As I had time, because I was playing sports. I had time on the weekends to work. I wanted to continue to work and provide for whatever I needed. But yeah, I had a good time there.
What did you learn there? Anything that you've learned at Trader Joe's that you took with you to into construction?
Definitely customer service and care for people.
Right.
I think because you meet all sorts of characters at working at the grocery store, and especially Trader Joe's, you meet interesting people.
Yes, you do.
Interesting coworkers, and learning how to navigate that and how to be friends to everyone. Be friendly, meet them where they're at.
Right on.
Which I'm still learning now, but being kind and not turning a blind eye to whoever it is, no matter what they think or believe.
Right.
But yeah, I think customer service, being organized, whether it's like doing the mundane jobs of sweeping or facing or going out there, getting the carts, dealing with customers or unhappy coworkers. I was bagging a lot. So having conversations with people,
right on,
being that sort of someone they can talk to in their day, I think.
Interesting. So after Trader Joe's, what was your next stop?
Next stop. So I had the goal initially before going to college to be an electrician because I didn't really want to go to school.
Right.
So I applied for an internship at Royal Electric.
Tell us a little bit about Royal. What kind of electrical company is that?
One of the biggest electrical companies in Sacramento, I think.
Yeah.
They do sort of commercial projects.
Yep.
They do a lot of airports and apartment buildings, complexes. I mean, those are the projects I worked on as I was there. But I was an intern for a summer, worked in the prefab shop. So I was building electrical boxes, stub racks, putting together conduit, bending pipe, cutting pipe, threading pipe, stuff like that.
What was that like?
It was cool. I think I had a good experience. Again, working with a team. I think I really learned how to ask questions there. I mean, you have a certain limited amount of material and you can't waste the material. So asking questions is really important to make sure that you get it right the first time. And I think that taught me to not be afraid to ask questions, not be afraid to ask for clarification, because it's like, who cares? Like everyone had to start from point zero. Everyone had to start from not knowing anything. And the way you move up there is asking questions, humbling yourself and saying, I don't know.
That's good. Hey, quick break here, just to talk about my book, Construction Genius, Effective, Hands-On, Practical, Simple, No BS, Leadership, Strategy, Sales, and Marketing Advice for Construction Leaders. Go and check out all of the reviews on Amazon. I have not paid for any of those reviews. I have not told people what to write. They have written what they have written. And I think it's really interesting, the different insights and perspectives that people bring to the table about what they get out of the book. I know that this book will be tremendously helpful to every single person who listens to this podcast. So I want you to go out to Amazon and buy a copy for yourself right now. It's $20, so it's a killer deal for a paperback. And I promise you that you will get at least one idea that will be worth tens of thousands of dollars to you if you use and apply it. So go out to Amazon. There's a link in the show notes. Buy the book. Buy a book for all the people in your organization who are in leadership. If you buy more than 10, contact me and I'll give you a special bonus offer of some leadership training for the group of leaders that you have for an hour via Zoom, as well as a Q&A about the book. It's a great deal. I know you'll enjoy it. All right, back to the conversation with Issac. You went from there to Crusader?
Yeah, so then I went from there and I applied at Crusader Fence, got an interview, and then started working as assisting with the project manager stuff. Yeah.
Yes, it's always funny when you say assistant to the project manager. It reminds me of The Office, right? Because, like Dwight would always say that he was the assistant regional manager. And then the dude would say, no, assistant to the regional manager.
I was just the dude that ran around for everyone.
Yeah, right on. Right on. So as you were looking at 2 years into your college experience and you're going to start going to Sac State where they have that construction management program, what's your long-term goal when it comes to the construction industry, at least at the moment? I mean, you're 2 years in and it's interesting because sometimes, people start in a particular path in terms of college and they go another way. Are you still pretty much set on construction is the way you want to go at the moment?
Yeah, I think so. Ever since I think I decided to go to college, decided to open up my options, I think, and start working and You never know where a degree could take you, although it's like not necessarily necessary.
Right.
But yeah, so I decided to go to college, and I think that construction was a pretty general thing, and it was a thing that definitely has potential in the future you can apply it to any sort of, especially the management part, the people management, the knowledge of how to run a project can be applied to any sort of industry. So I think it's pretty applicable in that sense. So yeah, I think that's why.
Right on. What are you learning? Because you mentioned earlier that you aspire to not only work in construction, but also aspire to lead. As you're observing people who lead in your company, and as you yourself get whatever opportunities you do to step into a leadership role, what kind of things are you noticing or learning about leadership?
I think the key for leadership is being in there with the people you're leading. It's not just commanding. You're not a commander, you're a leader. You're someone who goes and just puts on display what you want from your people.
Right.
You show them how to do it. You're the example of someone who has done it or is doing it.
Right.
Whatever you're leading them in, whether it's in the project, you're getting down, you're doing the mundane stuff, you're doing the stuff that no one wants to do, so that people can look at you and aspire to also do that. And then when they're given the task, I think then they're like, the one leading me is doing it, so I could do it as well.
Right. How do you handle, as you're learning, how do you handle failure? What do you see as the ways of going through the process when you make a mistake or something doesn't go right on a project that you're working on?
Yeah, I have a pretty simple and straightforward mindset to it, whereas it's like, I kind of just think, oh, well, and move on, right?
Right.
You would tell me in sports just to brush it off.
Yeah, right.
It just like, it's gone. It's like, It's over and done with. No, I can't do much about it now.
Yep.
I can apologize and say I won't do it again, but that's about it. The only thing you can do is move on to the next one and don't do it again.
Right on.
Do your best to not do it again.
What's your view on, are there different types of construction that you want to get into eventually? Is it something that you've given much thought to? Or I know sometimes when people get into a construction management program, they get opportunities for different internships and stuff like that. How are you looking at that as you go forward?
Yeah, nothing really has stood out to me so far. I mean, I find interest in most things. Of course, I don't know much about most of the industries in construction. So I think a general knowledge is what I desire now, or I want to learn as much as I can about a lot of things, just so I can provide that value to people. So no specific industry has necessarily stuck out, I don't think.
Okay. So just as we're wrapping up here, and I'm hoping this will be like the first of a series, we're going to check in with you here every year or so just to see how you're doing.
Yeah.
As you're driving around Sacramento, what's your favorite place to stop for lunch?
Probably Chipotle.
Chipotle.
But there's just...
What's your go-to at Chipotle?
Probably a burrito. But yeah, a burrito.
Okay.
But there's another place, Bradshaw Sandwich Shop.
Ooh.
It's a new one. It's on Bradshaw Road. They're going to expand soon. But
they are?
I think his name is Omar.
He
just started it. And he's my homie. So.
Bradshaw, yeah. So Bradshaw Sandwich Shop, shout out to them. If you're in Sacramento, it's Bradshaw near the 50, right?
Yeah, just a few streets off the 50. I'm not sure what the other street is.
Yeah,
but.
I can certify that the Bradshaw Sandwich Shop is legit. Yeah. So that's cool. Yeah. All right, Isaac. Well, I appreciate you joining us, and thanks for your insights. And we'll check in with you here hopefully another year or so.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks a lot. All right. Hey, thank you for listening today. I hope you enjoyed my interview with Isaac. And again, we'll have him back on here in a little bit, just to get an update on where his career and his schooling is going. I think it'll be kind of interesting to trace that over the next few years, and you'll be able to follow along with him. And feel free to connect with him on LinkedIn. Link is in the show notes where you can go and connect with him. Let me know what you think about this episode. I thought it was kind of cool. Tell me if you liked it, and give me some feedback. Really appreciate it, and I'll catch you on the next episode. Thank you for listening to this episode of Construction Genius. Hope you found that 1% of inspiration to help you in the next few days. If you like the show, please give us a 5-star review on iTunes, share it with other construction leaders who you think would benefit, and always remember that the show is brought to you by Kick-Ass Meetings. I've been working with construction leaders since 2004, teaching them how to run extremely effective problem-solving meetings that gets their people collaborating, taps into their creativity, and to get yourself a free copy of the Kick-Ass Meeting Report, go to www.ericanderton.com/kickassmeetings. Grab yourself that free report, read it, use it in your business. You'll find it extremely useful. And thanks again for listening.